The quicker you move from feeling trapped with your trauma identifications, with your fears, with your doubts, with your past hurts and wounds, the quicker you can create the life that you desire. I'm Giselle Baumet, and welcome to the newly renamed Alchemy of Success. I blend neuroscience and spirituality to give you the practical steps that you need to create inner wellness and in turn, create outer greatness in your life for maximum success. Unlike what you see in social media and kind of like the expectation that you need to be in this long healing journey to get there, just always in a healing journey, I was able to do that in rapid time compared to the stories that I often hear in people that experienced deep traumas or have past wounds or fears and doubts. And honestly, it started to all make me a little bit angry because I would also work using a lot of these practices that I used. I would work with people one-on-one and I would see rapid transformation with them too. I would see so often on social media and just societal expectations when it comes to healing that you are in this long healing journey. I'm on my healing journey. And so people then end up in this healing process forever before they can really get into the good parts of their life and just start creating the life that they desire. So I asked myself over and over again, what did I use? What did I use? What did I use? Like put it all together. I was able to do it faster without, I'd like to mention, without the use of talk therapy or pretty much without any Western modalities, and how I was able to see it happening with my clients. And then in the processes that I was giving in my subscriptions and even in my mastermind, like how does it happen quicker than typically is given to us as like this long process of healing? It was because I did a blend of brain science, so neuroscience, and spirituality. So I used the concepts of neuroscience alongside the concepts of spirituality, really tapping into ancestral holistic practices while doing brain rewiring work. And it was relatively quick compared to the years that it takes people to go through a healing journey. And that meant like going from darkness, going from doubts, going from limiting myself, going from victim mentality, going from trauma identifications, and you name it, never really feeling like I was stepping into who I was always meant to be because I was still attached to these things. And then when I used brain science, ancestral holistic practices, I was able to take care of all of that so much quicker. I did not use talk therapy, which is a relatively new profession in our human experience. I do believe in the psychology of human beings, and I'm really thankful for that modality. But let's keep in mind that psychology as a profession began from ancestral practices that they took from, and then they added to that, and then it became a profession that is primarily held by a small group of people. And so there's kind of a gatekeeping of that knowledge once it became a profession. Everything that is in that knowledge, you're able to do. And then you take the ancestral parts of that, and then you mix in what we know of neuroscience, and you've got yourself rapid transformation. So I call it neural spiritual method. You get accelerated neural rewiring. You use techniques like hypnotherapy or self-hypnosis, mindfulness, neuro-linguistic programming, and other practices to directly reprogram your brain's neural pathways that are associated with the trauma, with the fears, with the doubts, and with all of those limited beliefs. So instead of talking about it, we're rewiring instead because we're getting to the root, we're getting to the core. And that's part of why you experience then rapid transformation. It turns into a holistic approach. So instead of like, I'm going to use this modality for a few months, and then I'm going to use this modality for a few months, and you're kind of separating everything, we're integrating for a holistic approach. So that by working with all the parts of yourself together, integrated, you get a comprehensive approach to overcoming your trauma, overcoming your fears, your doubts, your limited beliefs, and so on. And then instead of continuously relying on someone else to heal you, and I put this on quote marks because there's no such thing as someone else healing you, and there's no such thing as you even needing healing in the first place because you are whole and complete. We're talking about shedding layers, rewiring the brain, coming back to remembrance of who you are. But in the neural spiritual method, you are empowered to do these as part of your self-practice because this is an inside job. So we get you started, but you do the practices, which gives you back your power. And in the neural spiritual method, of course, we understand that a lot of times trauma, fears, doubts, you name it, live in your body. So we use somatic modalities as well, such as breath work, so that you can remove the effects of the trauma from your body, such as stress or emotional dysregulation. Is specialized to you. So you start from where you are and you create a spiritual map that gives you the guideline of where you're headed and your own progress along the way. But here's what's most important. Whether you're doing it through my community or you find another community, accountability is an important component. Ancestrally, we were always in community. Okay, we were always in community. There was always people surrounding us, supporting us. You were not meant to do all of this on your own. This isn't about individualism, but about community. For example, currently I am applying for grants because I want to be able to emerge the neural spiritual method into marginalized communities and especially people who have experienced trauma. Honestly, it makes me angry how long the process traditionally takes. And that means that a whole group of people who already have been marginalized for a good part of their lives are being held back because of traumas, wounds, hurts, etc., etc., etc. So when you speed up this process, it's like you're giving equity because now you can come back to remembrance of who you are, which you are majestic, and make it happen for yourself quicker, faster, and get the satisfaction of the inner wellness and the outer wellness. You can gather all the pieces of the neural spiritual method because I speak on these. I've been speaking on these. I give them out for free. I give them out in my blog. I give it out in my social media videos. I give it out in my writings. Or you can come together in a community, for example, by joining the mastermind or getting into the do-it-yourself subscription called The Unfolding and starting that work, or working one-on-one so that you can catapult and then take it from there. It is time. The collective, the consciousness is ready for rapid transformation. No more long healing journeys. No more just talking and talking and talking about it. It's time for actions, and it's time for actions that actually transform you faster using neuroscience and spirituality for a powerful blend of transformation. It is an emerging field, and I'd love to hear if you have used it in any way. I'd also love to hear how this connects with you, how you can relate to it. If you'd like to work with me in any way, I'll put the links on the show notes so that you can reach out to me.